the last time Democrats were this mad at people from West Virginia was when they decided they didn't want to be a slave state anymore. My goodness gracious. They are spitting mad at Joe Manchin this morning. Apparently, he's now president. We all knew this day was coming. President Joe Manchin has an op-ed in the Washington Post that spells sabotage for the Democrat agenda. On the day Joe Biden decides to unveil his gun control initiatives. By the way, I have looked at the Joe Biden executive order on gun control. It amounts to a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. It's not going to go very far. We'll get to that. Joe Manchin, however, headline, I will not vote to eliminate or weaken the filibuster. When Americans vote to send their 2 senators to Washington, they trust that they will work to represent the interests of their state on equal footing with 98 other senators. I have always said, if I can't go home and explain it, I can't vote for it. And I respect that each of my colleagues has the same responsibility to their constituents. It's no accident that a state as small as West Virginia has the same number of senators as California or Texas. It goes to the heart of what representative government is all about. The founding fathers understood that the challenges facing a rural or a small state would always be different from a more populous state. Designating each state with the same number of senators, regardless of population, ensures that rural and small states and the Americans who live in them would always have a seat at the table. The filibuster is a critical tool to protecting that input and our democratic form of government. That is why I have said it before and will say it again to remove any shredded out. There is no circumstance in which I will vote to eliminate or weaken the filibuster. The time has come to end these political games and to usher a new era of bipartisanship where we find common ground on the majority policy debates facing our nation. So he's saying it's possible. Maybe he'll change his mind. If reporters asking 10,000 more times over the next few weeks, maybe, just maybe he'll do it. The issues facing our democracy today are not insurmountable if we choose to tackle them together. Unfortunately, our leaders in the Senate fail to realize what goes around comes around. We should all be alarmed at how the budget reconciliation process is being used by both parties to stifle debate around the major issues facing our country today. Legislating was never supposed to be easy. It is hard work to address the needs of both rural and urban communities in a single piece of legislation, but it is the work we were elected to do. I simply do not believe budget reconciliation should replace regular order in the Senate. How is that good for the future of this nation? Senate Democrats must avoid the temptation to abandon our Republican colleagues on important national issues. Republicans, however, have a responsibility to stop saying no and participate in finding real compromise with Democrats. Dun, dun, dun! That's Joe Manchin, not Joe Biden. Joe Manchin, the real president of the United States, writing in the Washington Post. No chance, no way. And he throws budget reconciliation under the bus as well. Now, this is really important. It is wonky, nerdy stuff. So gather up your nerd hat and let's pay attention. It is teaching time. Budget reconciliation is a process by which once a year, the United States Senate can pass a tax and spend measure that benefits the national debt. Republicans were able to pass their 2017 tax cut package that also gutted Obamacare to some degree, getting rid of the individual mandate, by the budget reconciliation process. They needed no Democrats and the filibuster couldn't stop it. What happens is you put a tax and spend measure in that does not change public policy, and it's got to benefit the national debt. So, for example, the Republican tax cuts could be shown to stimulate economic recovery so long as they were cut off within 10 years. So that's what they did. They were able to get rid of the individual mandate in Obamacare because the Senate parliamentarian ruled it did not actually change public policy. And it actually saved some money. So they were able to get it done. Well, the Democrats have hit on the Democrats hit on a new strategy. The reconciliation bill actually applies to fiscal years. So we're currently in the 2021 fiscal year, and in October we'll be in the 2022 fiscal year. So they could pass a budget reconciliation package now, and they can pass a budget reconciliation package at the end of the year, both in one year, but they're in separate fiscal years, so they get two. Well, Chuck Schumer claims that he got the Senate parliamentarian to agree that they could have a third bite at reconciliation, something heretofore unknown, summoned up out of the rules. The Senate parliamentarian supposedly said they could do it. Essentially, what they will do is they will pass a change in the budget. You've got to pass a budget every year. Now, the budget is not actually the budget. The budget that is passed, it's a budget resolution, and it says these branches of government, they're going to get this much money. And then they actually pass the appropriations bills to give them that much money. What they want to do is change the budget resolution previously passed and claim, well, since we've substantially changed the budget resolution previously passed, we now get to do another reconciliation package. Chuck Schumer said the Senate parliamentarian agreed. But now Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are saying, actually, maybe not. According to Chuck Schumer's spokesperson, the parliamentarian had advised that Democrats could revise the complex budget maneuver that was used to pass Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package and unlock a second opportunity at clearing major legislation without Republican votes. Still, even as Schumer's aides touted the ruling as an important step forward in giving Democrats a powerful extra pathway to avert a filibuster, they acknowledged some parameters need to be worked out. The befuddlement that still surrounds the parliamentarian's opinion has major consequences. The decision could give Democrats at least 3 more opportunities to steer bills past Republican opposition before the midterm elections without trying to axe the filibuster. But if the ruling carries certain constraints, enduring the grueling budget process could be much less appetizing. Democrats aren't excited about turbocharging it. Senate Republican aides with firsthand knowledge of the parliamentarian's decision said it isn't clear what legislative priorities Democrats could pass with a possible extra shot at reconciliation, or even whether the ruling would limit Democrats' use of their second attempt. The parliamentarian's opinion also doesn't specify whether such action is even allowable this fiscal year, or whether any party would have the freedom to unlock unlimited opportunities to use reconciliation. One House Democratic lawmaker observed that the party can put as much into reconciliation as we can into two, questioning the practical advantage of trying to exercise a power that no one really understands. They got problems. And now the Democrats are saying, actually, the big win we got may not be as big as we thought it was. Well, all of that is now preempted by the President of the United States, Joe Manchin of West Virginia. I cite again his op-ed in the Washington Post. Unfortunately, our leaders in the Senate failed to recognize what goes around comes around. We should all be alarmed at how the budget reconciliation process is being used by both parties to stifle debate. That pretty much kills it. In fact, he says if the filibuster is eliminated or budget reconciliation becomes the norm, a new and dangerous precedent will be set. Dun, dun, dun! Joe Manchin doesn't want to use budget reconciliation either. He doesn't want to do it. Now, there's another problem for the Democrats. All right, y'all, listen. Remember, just a few short weeks ago, everyone was in doom, gloom, and despair. Everyone thought the world is coming to an end. The Democrats have taken back the Senate. We're all going to die. Socialism's on the rise. And I got in trouble with you guys. I got in trouble when I said, calm down. Calm down. They can't do much. The filibuster's not going to go away. I had people call in this program screaming at me over the Democrats taking back the Senate. They were going to get rid of the filibuster. We were going to get gun control. We were going to get all this stuff. Socialism was on the rise. There's no turning back now. It is the end of America as we know it. Nope. Nope. Calm down. Joe Manchin is saying he doesn't even want to use budget reconciliation. He wants regular order. What is regular order? It's something that House Democratic moderates are scrambling for as well. What is regular order? Regular order is where instead of the leadership drafting the legislation and sending it to the floor of the House or the Senate, the senators and representatives are charged with drafting the legislation in a committee where Democrats and Republicans get to mark it up, make changes, and offer amendments, finalizing it in committee, sending it to the floor where they vote on it, and then sending it over to the other house to go through the exact same process. That's regular order. It slows it down. It slows the process down. It makes the senators more powerful than the leadership. That's why leadership doesn't like to do it. And Joe Manchin is now saying, we got to go back to regular order. He's not going to let budget reconciliation become the norm, and he's not going to get rid of the filibuster. What happens if the Democrats vote him out next time? Well, a Republican gets elected in West Virginia, and Mitch McConnell goes back to being Senate Majority Leader. By the way, it's not just Joe Manchin, it's Kristen Sinema as well. The senator from Arizona says, nope, not going to do it, not getting rid of the filibuster. Dianne Feinstein, who said she would consider tweaks to the filibuster, has said she's not getting rid of it. And there are, frankly, a number of other Democratic senators who know they don't have to take a position because it's not going to happen, and they don't favor it. Now, if the Democrats are able to make up gains in the next Senate, then yeah, they could get rid of the filibuster. Raphael Warnock needs to be defeated in Georgia. Republicans will be on defense because they did so well 6 years ago. There will be more Republicans up for grabs than Democrats. Republicans have the potential, though, to take back the House. And if they take back the House, the Senate filibuster becomes a non-starter because they won't be able to get stuff through the House. And it looks like Republicans are going to take back the House. The tendency of both parties is to go to doom, gloom, and despair when their side loses. And Republicans have done it. We spent some time on that yesterday on the program. There's always hope. You got to find it sometimes. And here, all the people who were thinking the Democrats taking back the Senate because Republicans threw Georgia away, the socialism was going to be on the rise, they were going to pass everything, they were going to get rid of the filibuster. Nope, events changed things. And the Senate, trying to use budget reconciliation as a process to preempt the filibuster, died in the pages of the Washington Post today as Joe Manchin, the senator of West Virginia, says, nope, not going to happen.